so you don't have power at one or several of your outlets in your home or apartment. I'm going to walk you through the basic troubleshooting steps in 3 different methods that you can get the power back on without spending a bunch of time, without buying any tools, or without calling in the professionals. So we use this pair of duplex outlets behind me as our example. First things first, I tried to plug in this battery charger for my electric chainsaw, and I'm not getting anything. So our first method is simply to go out to the panel and see if we can find any issues. The first troubleshooting method brings us to our electrical panel. Now my electrical panel is located in the garage, but yours could be in your basement, it could be in a closet, it could be in a utility closet. Technically, I've even seen them on the exterior of homes. So the breakers, what they do is control power to independent branches or circuits in your home. So this one specifically has 200 amps of service provided to the panel, and then that breaks out into individual branches or circuits. Most of those are rated at 20 amp, and you'll see that by the small 20 on the lever, but you also see many 15 amp circuits as well. The thin circuit breakers are 120 volt circuits, and the thicker, which is the thickness of 2 of those thinner ones, are for 240 volt circuits. Now, if you do not have circuit breakers, there is a chance your home has a little bit older electrical system and you might have fuses such as this one. The only difference is these fuses would also serve one branch or one circuit, but if this burns up, if you go over the 20 amp rating, the small piece of metal in there is a sacrificial piece of metal. It will burn up and that will disconnect the power to that circuit. To fix that, you need to replace. Actually go get a 20 amp or a 15 amp or even a 10 amp fuse to get that back up and running. In this case, we can just reset our breaker, and let me show you how. So if the power not being delivered to your outlet is because of a trip breaker, depending on the brand of breaker you have, you might see an orange indicator such as this, or maybe the lever is just in the middle position. So you can see this one is in the on position, this is in the off position, and this one's in the middle position. To reset that and to get the power back on to that circuit, all you do is reset to the off and then push it over to the on position. So hopefully with that first method and a simple resetting of your circuit breaker got you back up and running. The most common areas that you're going to see this is anywhere you have a large heating element. So that could be a space heater within your living room, that could be a hairdryer in the bathroom, or even a toaster oven in the kitchen. Those all pull a high current and then could exceed the amperage rating on your circuit breaker and lead to a trip. Now, if this is continually happening, that probably is worth diving deeper in, and that you might need to call in a professional for. But if your problem's still not solved, don't worry, we have method 2 and 3 coming up. So the second method to get your power back onto your outlet is going to focus on a certain type of outlet like this one here, which is called GFCI, or ground fault current interrupt. What these outlets do is they protect you from electrical shock. Often found in your kitchen, bathroom, garages, or on exterior outlets. What they're doing is detecting the difference between this smaller slot here, the hot side, and the larger slot, the neutral side. So if you were to come into contact with the hot side and provide what's called a path to ground, you would feel an electrical shock. But with a GFCI, as soon as that difference between the flow coming from hot to neutral, which is as expected, when that difference is detected as small as 5 to 10 milliamps, it trips and it will cut the power to this outlet or anything else that's attached to this on the same circuit. Now there's a few different designs. This one's also a GFCI outlet, but you'll always find that they have 2 different buttons. There's a test button on the bottom of this one. It's on the side of this one. And then a reset button on the center of this one and also on the center of that. The test does just that. It tests the functionality of the GFCI to make sure it's working. And then the reset would reset it after a trip. On most of the newer models built after the last 10 years, you'll see a little lights. There's a light here, and this one's got a light down low. Now, in the normal working conditions, sometimes those lights are off or sometimes they're green. In this case, the only time you'll see a light is when it is tripped. You'll see this as an amber light, and we can show that by testing this GFCI. So now this is tripped and there's no longer power to this outlet. So if that is your issue, what you can easily do is just press the reset. And sometimes you do have to depress that pretty far in to get it to hold, and then that will reset and provide power back to GFCI outlet. So the other thing I wanted to note on the GFCI outlets is the GFCI outlet here can actually provide the same functionality to another outlet down here, which my coffee maker is plugged into. So if I trip this outlet, it can actually cut the power to outlets downstream. Even though those look like standard outlets, they are actually protected by the GFCI, and this would need to be reset to regain power at your other outlets. So just know it doesn't have to look like a GFCI to be protected by a GFCI outlet that you might need to reset. And let me show you how confusing that can get out in the garage. So for this example, actually in my garage, these outlets are still out and they're connected to a GFCI outlet that's all the way across the room. And because of where I put some shelves, are strategically located back behind some cleaning supplies. So I actually, to reset this, have to reach all the way back there and then reset that. And you can see that green light is always on, and this one's showing that the power is back on. So that's where you can see it can get a little confusing. Although these look like standard outlets all the way across the room, all the way across the garage, I have a GFCI that is then protecting these outlets with GFCI capability, but you're not gonna have a reset or test button here. You have to find the GFCI outlet. So that can get a little confusing. So the final method is pretty easy, and it builds on this GFCI capability, but it goes back to our electrical panel. So the last method, method 3, is a bit of a combination of the previous two. And that is, depending on when your home was built or your electrical system was updated, you might have GFCI capability built into your circuit breakers or something else called AFCI. AFCI is a bit different. It's trying to detect arcing within that circuit. Now, arcing is a leading source of electrical fire, so it's trying to reduce the chances of electrical fires. But why I say it's a combination of 1 and 2 is because I'll show you and I'll test one of these circuits. So if I press the test button here, you hear it trip, and it actually just looks like a tripped circuit breaker, even though a ground fault or an arc fault might have been the actual thing that tripped it, opposed to the amperage in that circuit going beyond the threshold for that 15 or 20 amp circuit breaker. But it looks the same, right, with an orange indicator and then also the lever in the center position opposed to off or on. And then to reset that, if your AFCI or GFCI circuit breaker tripped, is the same. We just go to the off position and then back on. So after those 3 methods, if you're still not up and running, possibly your GFCI outlet won't hold a reset. They do have a limited lifespan, about 15 to 20 years, so it might just be time to swap that out. And in that scenario, check out this video right here. I'll walk you through the complete process of changing out that GFCI, and this even includes when you have power coming in, which is called your line, and also power going out, like we talked about, which is called your load, where the GFCI is providing that coverage to outlets downstream. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take care.